Hey guys, John here, the Practical Tactical Minimalist, and today it's a rainy day, so I thought I would do an update video on probably my most popular video was comparing, at the time, the $31 Streamlight to the $150 Surefire. These are very similar lights, and with inflation now, these are about, the Streamlight 1L-1aa is about 40 bucks, give or take. You can sometimes find it a little bit cheaper, but it's around $40. And the Surefire edcl1-t, the 1-cell everyday carry light, is still about $150. So I've been carrying these lights off and on for well over a year each. This was my oldest flashlight videos, was testing the Surefire EDC series right when they came out, and I loved it. I carried this light exclusively for over 6 months, and then I wanted to give the Streamlight 1L-1aa a try, and I ended up with a ton of these. So this light I haven't really carried much recently, but I had a subscriber mention, a commenter say that he had an FDE version and he really liked it, and I only had the black model, so I found a good deal on Big Daddy Unlimited for this FDE Flat Dark Earth Streamlight 1L-1aa, and I had to give it a shot. So I've really fallen back in love with this light. I've been carrying it a lot, and I was just thinking, like, now I have a significant amount of usage and thoughts on the idiosyncrasies of these little lights. So I thought I would go over them and kind of rank them for you. So if you are still in the market for one of these lights, a very versatile everyday carry light that can be used for just about everything, but can also flex into self-defense if need be. These are still the top reigning champs in my opinion, and I thought we could go over, a long-term review after more than 1 year. So the categories that we're going to be going over are the size, the weight, the build quality, the clip, the finish, the beam, the user interface, the warranty, the battery/versatility, and the durability. So let's start off with size. As you can see, the Surefire is bigger than the Streamlight. They are about the same overall footprint, but the head is bigger and it is just a smidge longer. You can actually see the bezel. The Streamlight will fit inside of the Surefire. This is a 1 inch, I believe, and this is slightly below, like a 0.84, something like that. So pocketability, the Streamlight will take the cake. It is just more pocketable. It's barely thicker than a CR123A battery, where the Surefire, you can see the body is very slim, and then it comes out to a pretty substantial sized head. So for the size, the Streamlight's got to win. The Streamlight just takes up less overall space in your pocket or your bag. Next up, we are going to do weight. Okay, the Streamlight is approximately 2.4 ounces with a Streamlight branded CR123A battery. The Surefire edcl1-t is 3.4 with a Surefire branded battery. So I kept the Surefire battery in the Surefire, a Streamlight battery in the Streamlight, and the edcl1-t is approximately 1 ounce heavier. That said, it is both a pro and a con. The Streamlight is significantly in hand, significantly lighter, about 30% if you want to do the math on it. However, that is a good thing for just overall use of, like, ease of carry. If you're gonna clip this to a baseball cap or something, one less ounce might help stabilize the light on a baseball cap or something, because both of these lights are capable of doing that. However, the extra ounce really does make the Surefire feel nicer, so kind of a wash. But since I'm always trying to get the lowest weight items, I would say the Streamlight again takes the cake on that one. Next up, we are going to talk about build quality. So the Streamlight is very well machined, very well made. The pocket clip is not attached, it just clips on. The button feels nice, a little bit spongy, but nice, responsive. The Surefire has really nice knurling. The anodizing is just fantastic, or however they finish it. The button definitely feels higher quality, very responsive. I have to give the build quality to the Surefire. It feels nicer. I think it looks nicer. There's a lot more machining that went into this. There's a little bit finer tolerances, like the threads are a little bit squeaky on the Streamlight. They're not on the Surefire. It's just a little bit nicer all around, just a little. So I'm going to give that to the Surefire. Also, the Surefire is made in America. I don't know what exactly that means. If it's just assembled, if they source parts, I don't know. They claim they're made in America though. American company, American workers. Streamlight is not made in America. It is designed in America, and Streamlight is an American company, but this is outsourced to another country, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, you can correct me in the comments, but I'm pretty sure this is not made in America. Not that that affects the build quality or anything, but I just thought I would mention that. The Surefire really has that I don't know, pride of ownership thing going on, where the Streamlight feels more like a utilitarian tool, if that makes sense. Next up, the clip. I really enjoy both of these clips. You can see the Surefire rides a little lower. I mean higher in the pocket. And no, it's about the same. I guess the Surefire just feels more stable because there's more light below the clip. So in pocket, I've noticed the Surefire does feel a little bit more stable in your pocket. The clip is also definitely tighter. So if you have a propensity to lose lights, the Surefire clip might be better for you. Both of them are the fold over type clips. So you can, carry it either way. The Streamlight has a little bit more of a bill there, so it's a little bit easier to slide in your pocket. And the tension is significantly less tight, so it's a little bit easier to extract from your pocket, which could be a pro and a con. Also, some people have problems with the clips falling off. Some people will wrap a zip tie under there, and that will keep it on. Or these clips are like 10 bucks on the internet. You can get them replaced. The Surefire clip is like, it's not integral, but it's recessed and it's held on by the head. So in the past, I've broken Surefire clips as well. It's not like they're that much more strong than the Streamlight clips. It's not like one of these is significantly better than the other. I personally think that the Surefire clip is just a smidge better, so I'm going to give the clip to the Surefire. All right, now finish. The Surefire finish is just uncanny how well it holds up. You can see a few dings here and there, but these have about equal pocket time, and the Surefire just held up fantastic. The Streamlight's already getting dings in the metal. My main 1l-1aa I carry a bunch. I will post a photo here from my Instagram, and it wears. So just keep that in mind. The Streamlight finish is significantly more prone to wear. That is a positive if you like that cool Boba Fett look quickly, like within a year or two. Your Streamlight will be pretty worn, where the Surefires seem to be more like legacy heirloom style finishes. The wear on Surefires are more earned. If you see a really worn Surefire, it's probably at least a decade old. So got to give it to the Surefire. The finish is just second to none. All right, so now we're going to cover the beam. This light is 350 lumens on high, and this light is 500. This one has about 7,000 candela. This one has about 6,400 candela. I honestly cannot tell the difference in overall brightness. This beam is a little bit wider because of the extra lumens. So while the candela in the middle, the peak intensity is about the same, very blinding. It is a little bit more floody of a beam. It also has a higher CRI, so the beam looks a little bit more neutral white or yellow white, where the Streamlight, especially the newer Streamlights, are very cool white, and it's a user preference. Allegedly, the CRI, the higher CRI, gets you more natural colors. So for positive identification and stuff, this might be a little bit more beneficial. Most people that aren't, flashaholics and really chase specific CRIs, on the Kelvin scale. Most people will probably prefer the cool white. You can see it's almost bluish, very cool, kind of like hospital light. It looks very nice to the human eye, where the Surefire is more neutral, warm even, warm, cool. And you can see the beam differences on low. This is 5 lumens with the Surefire. This is, I believe, about 40 on the Streamlight. And you can see that the beam on the Surefire is wider, but it's still just as bright. Like, this is an eighth of the lumens, and you can still see that nice little hot spot. So again, personal preference. It all depends on what you enjoy in a flashlight. I kind of prefer the Surefire. I've really grown to like the warmer lights. Even the mod light, I prefer the 5K head. But the Streamlight is amazing, and I very much enjoy it. And I think I have to give it to the Streamlight just because of the impressive candela and hotspot at only 350 lumens. So I think I'm going to give the overall beam to the Streamlight. Next up, we have user interface. This is where stuff starts to get very personal, and it will be tainted by my personal opinion, so I'm going to try to keep that out. The Surefire has a gas pedal switch. So depending on how hard you press it a little bit, you get low. You press it the whole way, you get high. Low, high. It's very easy to get into low. It's very easy to get into high. In fact, it's almost impossible not to get into high if you need it. If you would like constant on, you can twist until it turns on, so that's low. And then at any time, you can press down and get high. So if you're, doing administrative things, then all of a sudden need high, you can get that very easily. And then you continue to twist, wrong way, continue to twist, and you get high constant. It's very intuitive. If the button isn't feeling like you like for the difficulty of getting to low to high, you can kind of fiddle with how it's making contact. I like it kind of loose, so I untwist it a little bit more than normal. If you constantly use constant on, the Surefire will be a little bit of a hassle because you have to twist the cap. However, for everyday carry stuff, quick little peaks, it's very easy to get into low, and then for self-defense situations, it's very easy to get into high. So I am a huge fan of this user interface, and it is by far my favorite for an everyday carry light that I'm also planning on having the capability of flexing into everyday carry self-defense type stuff. The Streamlight is 10-tap programmable. So right now I have it set in low-high because that most matches the Surefire. Light press, you get light, momentary. Full press, you get constant on. If you want to go to your other mode, you just double tap, and then you can leave it momentary or constant. And then to switch modes, you have high, strobe, low, low, high, and high only. You just tap the back, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it down, wait for it to turn off, and now you're in a high, strobe, low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oops, missed one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you're in high only. So this is a very versatile system. I love this system. I am so sad that Streamlight has gone away from 10-tap programmable user interfaces. It makes these ProTech lights, honestly. You can run this in high only. It completely negates the possible negative. The only negative I found is if you need high right now 100% of the time, you can get locked into low by accident. As you can see, even from 10-tap programming, I missed one. And, just double tapping or having to memorize taps could be an issue, where this one you just slam right through. So, really, I have to say it's a tie. I adore both of these systems. I really enjoy the gas pedal switch. This is the only type of light that has that. I know, I think Olight has a model now that does something similar, but I love that system. I also really, really, really like the 10-tap programmable system. I have to give it a tie. Next up is the warranty. So, in the past, I've had really bad luck with Surefire warranties. I had several XC1s back when they came out that would flicker and die, and it felt like Surefire didn't care about me because I was not law enforcement or military. I had to call, I wasted several lunch breaks on hold. I finally faxed them, that got them to respond, and then it was just a huge hassle to get the XC1s serviced. Granted, once they did service them, They were fantastic. It was very quick turnaround. They ended up upgrading me for free to the new Bravo model. So like once you get a hold of them, it's fantastic. But I had a lot of issues with them in the past. Recently, I had an edcl1-t where the gas pedal switch was malfunctioning and it wouldn't go past low. So I sent them an email within an hour. I had a shipping label. It was a breeze. So whatever Surefire has changed, I can highly recommend their customer service. Pretty much for life, they've got you covered. I can also say the same thing about Streamlight. Streamlight's customer service is fantastic. I have nothing but good things to say. They will fix your light or send you a new one super fast, and pretty much anything that happens to this light, they'll cover you. So again, a tie. Both companies are fantastic American companies. I love Streamlight, I love Surefire. It's got to be a tie. Next up, we are going to do battery/versatility, and you guys know this is no contest. This uses CR123A batteries, and Surefire would prefer you use their brand. Those get really pricey, especially if you're using batteries often. Surefire now offers a rechargeable. They're about $7 each, and they don't have as long of a runtime, but that's a game changer for this type of light. If you want to use rechargeables, they have rechargeables. Also, there's R123 batteries on Amazon for like security cameras and stuff. Those may work. I've never tried them. I think Mr. Guns and Gear said he runs them, or some YouTuber has said they run them just fine. But just keep that in mind. This is limited to CR123A batteries. It cannot use 18350s. The body's not big enough. So there is a new dual fuel edcl1-t coming out this year allegedly. With Surefire, you never know. It was announced at SHOT, and it will use 18350. So if you would like to use an 18350 like I use in all my mod lights, you'll want to wait a little bit. The Streamlight ProTac 1l-1aa though is just a battery monster. It can use CR123A batteries, which is where you get the highest lumens. It can also use a AA battery. And then unofficially, I'm not at all recommending this, but I have personally used a AAA, a rechargeable AAA, a rechargeable AA, a 10440, and a 14500. I have not yet tried a quadruple A, just because I don't have any of those, and I haven't, rushed out to try one to get it to try in this. But I've heard online you can also use a quadruple A. So if for some reason you find that battery, goodness gracious, you can use almost every battery in here. The way that works is, I don't know if you're going to be able to see. So you have a little, I think it's plastic, but spacer in there for your CR123A batteries. And then all the slimmer batteries, like the AA, AAA, that kind of stuff, go in deeper into that spring. So versatility wise for everyday carry, goodness gracious, how could this not win? This is by far miles above, way more versatile than the Surefire. Durability. So now here's where the battery types come into a problem. I have had one 1l-1aa that had to go back to the factory because the battery started flickering. It was in a flashlight that I had been using a AA in primarily for months. What I'm assuming is the AA sticks in so much farther, it compresses the spring, and then when you try to put a CR123A back in there, it flickers occasionally. I sent one of these flashlights to the Gun Penguin, and he's had a similar problem where occasionally it'll flicker. Now, Streamlight will cover you. If that happens, send it in. They will give you a new flashlight. However, the other battery types are kind of, in my opinion, this is not at all what Streamlight says, just in my usage case and what I have found personally from personal experience, you kind of should run a CR123A battery in here the majority of the time. The only time I run a AA or a AAA or any of those other battery types is when my CR123A dies and I need a light to get home or whatever. And then once I get home, I switch it back out to the CR123A. So I think because of the dual fuel or, quadruple fuel or whatever system this flashlight's running on, it is a little bit less inherently reliable than the Surefire. Granted, With the Surefire, I did have an edcl1-t where the switch failed. Or maybe it was the circuitry in the head, I don't know. Surefire didn't tell me, they just replaced it super fast and I had a brand new light. So I've had several examples of these, but I've also had a lot of examples of these. Both of them have had a problem. And with the pandemic rushes and supply chains and stuff, there's a lot more problems across the board. So don't hold that against either of these lights. I will say, however, I feel personally that the Surefire is more inherently reliable and durable. So it just feels better. It's even the electronics and stuff look better potted. Everything about the Surefire feels a little bit nicer and more durable than the Streamlight. You can't really see the electronics, but like everything in here, just the threads feel great. Everything feels more durable and nicer. So if you're keeping track, we currently have the Streamlight with 4 points. It has the size, weight, beam, and battery versatility. The Surefire has 4 as well. It has build quality, clip, finish, and durability. So at this point, ultimately it's a tie. However, I saved the most important category for last, which will be the factor in a lot of your guys' decisions, and was the factor in mine as well. I had to save up for this back in the day, and these I only buy when they're on sale. So the tiebreaker is going to be value. Which light is a better buy? These are about $150, these are about $40. Honestly, for a tie, personal preference aside, the Streamlight is a much better buy. So in the versus match between the edcl1-t and the Streamlight 1l-1aa, the most obnoxious flashlight names in the game, we have to say that the Streamlight wins. It's a better buy. Granted, that doesn't mean the Surefire isn't great. Personal preference might lead you to this. They tied, right? So personal preference might lead you to this. It kind of has led me to this. I prefer the Streamlight I prefer the Surefire edcl1-t. However, I have way more of these. So if that tells you anything, the last few days I've been carrying this in my pocket as my primary flashlight. But I have one of these in every car, right? Like, I don't think you can go wrong with either, I should say. Technically, I think because of the value proposition, the Streamlight wins. But I don't think you can go wrong with either. Something to keep in mind is I have not seen any counterfeit EDCl1 or 2Ts. There's a ton of counterfeits of this. This and the MicroStream are probably the most counterfeited lights. Amazon is not safe to buy from. I'll put an Amazon link down below so you can kind of get a price estimate. And if you select a seller on the side, instead of just clicking add to cart, you can actually select a seller. If you select a reputable seller, you're not going to have an issue probably. But if you just ship from the Amazon warehouse, it's just not safe. So I'll put the link down below for both of these lights. Please click it to support the channel. Even if you don't buy the light, it still supports the channel. But be careful to buy this from an authorized dealer or a reputable dealer so you don't get a counterfeit. Check the 10-tap programmable feature. The back will have the Streamlight logo. It won't be knurled. A lot of them have the red rings. However, I have a lot of 1Ls that do not have it. Also, the newer Streamlights have the gold instead of silver. However, again, I have older 1Ls and 1l-1aas that have the silver. So it's really a crapshoot at this time. I will say, however, be careful ordering this. So both lights, fantastic. I hope this video wasn't too boring for you. I have a lot of time behind these two lights now. They are by far my favorite everyday carry lights because they flex so well into the self-defense, gun guy side of stuff as well. There's probably a little bit more joy of ownership in the Surefire, but the Streamlight is no slouch. And in my original review, I said this was a 5 out of 5, and this is a 4.5 out of 5. At this point, I think they're both 5 out of 5s. You can't go wrong with either of these. There's other options on the market now, like the Cloud Defensive and the Modellite. Those are just even thicker still. This is about the edge of what I want to carry in my pocket. So let me know what you guys have picked down below. Do you already have one of these? Are you looking at getting the other one? Or is this video helping you make the decision for the first time purchase? I'd be really curious to see if there's any more information you guys want. I can make more videos on these, But I just thought after so much time behind these, and it's one of my best performing videos, I thought I would follow it up with over 1 year on both of these. So this has been John, the Practical Tactical Minimalist. Be safe out there.